Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am literally so excited for today's build. Today we are building a Bridgerton inspired house. Now I say inspired because I did take my own liberties with it, which I highly encourage everyone to do when you're trying to replicate a build. Take your own liberties, make it yours. You know, you don't want to get an exact replica. Everyone can do that. But can you make it your own is the real question. I'm so happy about this build because I love Bridgerton. I love the music. I love the show. I haven't seen season 2 though, so no spoilers please in the comments. I don't want to be reading the comments and then it's like, oh gee, I can't believe this. And I'm going to be like, I haven't seen it. Hopefully by the time this is posted, which will be a week from today, or a little less than a week, that maybe I will have watched it by then. But still no spoilers for anyone else who hasn't seen it. Guys, the floor plan on this came together really easily. Not the floor plan, but like the layout of the home, I guess the shell. You need to go on Google Earth, you know, because Google Earth is the place that will show you overhead views of any building. And it just makes sense to do it that way, because if you happen to Google a picture, I mean, sure, you can get a good perspective of the home, but you have no understanding of what the sides may look like or the back of the house may look like. So go on Google Earth, or Google Maps should do, you know, anything with a satellite view. Look overhead on whatever you're building, and you're going to have such a better idea. And then you're not going to have to guess on the back of a house. Like, there have been so many houses that I've built where the front looks like this extravagant, beautiful masterpiece. And then you go to the back and it's just so ugly, you know? And we don't want that. We don't want that. We want the whole build to look like a magical piece of art, which is so easy to do if you just go on Google Earth. And if you're building your own build, just put pop outs. You know, if you're adding your own touches to the back of the build and you're more creative than I am, you know, throw some bump outs back there or something to give it depth and realism, and just tie it in with the style of the front of the house. Easy enough, right? Easier said than done. If you guys want to extend your wall height without really extending it, add those half walls that I just did here and raise up the foundation in them, and you have a flat roof. Really easy. And another thing I want to point out, guys, for details, I think the best thing that you can possibly do, for 1, are those half walls, and for 2, chimneys, and for 3, you know how I put that fence on the top of the roof? That really does wonders for this style of building. I don't know why. I guess it just works. I guess it's just in the style. Especially if you look up like English houses and English homes, like a lot of them have this, or a lot of the more like just fancy houses have it. 10 out of 10 recommend doing that. Though I feel a little hypocritical saying this, because I think this might be the first time I've ever done it, but I'm happy I did. Another thing, guys, like for these windows, I think there aren't many windows that could work for this style of build. I don't think there are. I think university might be our best bet. And the reason I say that isn't because I'm 100% happy with them. That's not the case at all. But they have a design outside of just the window. For example, the little like arch over the top. And that's stuff that we can't just like paste on there how it is. So it's really nice that it comes with the window. And it really just adds a big difference in it. And also use different windows, guys. Switch it up. You know, we don't want to keep the same windows consistently the whole time. That's really boring. You know, I used to do that all the time. It's just boring. It makes your build not special. I feel bad saying that, but it's true. Yeah, I'm going to cut it how it is. It's true. It makes it not special. I put those curved windows, and then I did those square windows. And then at the entry, I end up doing, I don't know where they're from. Oh, I think they're from Get Famous. I end up doing those long skinny ones just for a little detail. Around these bends, I think I do the square ones, but I switch it up with the round ones as well. Switch it up. It looks so much better when you switch up windows. Like I said, I used to be such a stickler for, you know, I have to have the same windows, the same style. No, you do not, especially for this kind of build. Don't be afraid to experiment. You know, everything is about experimenting when you're building anyways. For this, I noticed that there was a basement part in the original house that had windows underneath, and I really wanted to incorporate that. And I think I originally learned how to do this from Kitty Lope Sims, who has a TikTok, and I follow her, and she's quite lovely. And this is where I originally learned this hint, or hack, I should say, on how to build the basements that have that like divot, but you can still like, you can pretty much enter the basement as a door area. Am I making sense? Somebody help me with what the name of it is called. But it's so extremely helpful. And the way you do that is just build your basement, kind of how I have done here. I do go through some trial and error, but you're going to click the room while you're underneath the floor, and it shows that yellow rim that you saw. I think I'm going to do it again so that I can show you better. So I use my basement tool. I don't know how that ended up working, but I use my basement tool, and hold on, I'm waiting for myself. There you go. So when you click it, it's got that yellow highlighted border around it. You're just going to click remove roof, and it will remove it for you. And I just think it adds, you know, another depth of thing, especially if you're building like kind of an English style pub. Even I think they have or just an English style home in general. It's so nice when you can bump out maybe like a 4x3 square of basement that you take the roof off, and then put stairs going down with a door leading to the basement, and then like a fence around that open spot. It just, it's chef's kiss, guys. It's chef's kiss. It adds such a layer to your build and makes it so much more unique, I promise. I don't know what I was thinking I was going to do here. I realized that they just have a flower thing of exactly what I was trying to replicate, so I thought that was a little silly that I ended up putting that, but it's okay, because I did find the right thing, and it didn't take like a whole lot of time. Sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes I'm searching for what feels like hours or days to find something when I could probably just Google it, but I'm too stubborn. I'm like, I gotta find this by myself, guys. I gotta find it. I'm really nervous, guys, when I get to the inside on what I'm gonna do. I don't think I'm gonna keep it Bridgerton inspired. I am, okay, that's such the wrong thing to say. It's gonna be Bridgerton inspired still. However, it is not gonna be an exact replica, I don't think. If there's one thing that stresses me out, it's trying to replicate interiors. Exteriors, a little different because I can add my own touch, and I'm 100% a builder and not an interior decorator. I do like decorating, but yeah. Anyways, so speaking of the inside, I do kind of go in here because I would forgotten otherwise when I get to the interior to add those curtains, because you can see them from the outside, and the detail that it adds is something that's needed. If I didn't have that detail, I mean, I don't stay on the screen long enough here, but actually I do. See the curtains in the windows? It adds so much, guys. It adds so much. There was a build I did not too long ago where I was like, why do the windows look so white? Well, I hadn't realized that I must have bumped out the wall, so it left a wall behind it. Like, those are the details we have to watch out for. You can't be covering anything. And if you want to cover, make it for a reason, such as the curtains being there to cover, to create a different shading aspect on the outside. Maybe it's just me who's picky and meticulous about these kind of details, but I know a lot of you are always asking like how to build in The Sims, and like, obviously there are basic building tips, but these are like the other building tips that I can give. Like, if you already know how to build a general shape of a house, if you want to step up your build, it's the small details, guys. It's the small details. For vine work, I just get really stressed out about vines, guys. Like, overly stressed about vines. And the reason for that is because I never think they look real. I did not keep that, by the way. I ended up using like flowers that are normally in the ground, and that seriously looked way better. And I just raised them up with 9 and alt placed them. But I think I do that in a little because it took me longer than I'd like to say and confess to that I hated what I already had. I do end up adding more vines, by the way. That kind of help tie it together more. And I think I'm going to go back outside of this video, or I'll probably do it on next video, and add more add more finishing touches to the exterior, because I think I did kind of abruptly stop it because I was getting really tired of sitting in my chair. It doesn't look abruptly stopped to you guys probably when I get to that. Oh, I'm sorry. I just hit my mic if you heard that. But I don't think you're going to notice that I abruptly stopped because I think it looks fairly finished by the end of it. Anyways, these are the plants that I was talking about. It's just the right style. I mean, ideally, I would have had the Toolmon to kind of help me out. Oh, wait, I don't think I can tool plants, though. I might have to test that out, but I don't think you can. So I just had to alt place them, and I did not enjoy that at all. But I just kept layering, and it's fine. It kind of worked. It half worked, guys. It half worked. But the layering really, really helps. And plant layering in general, like, I feel like the plants in The Sims are just a little bit, I don't know. I wish we had more plants. Let's just say that. Like, we don't have enough landscaping plants. I realize they've added a lot of plants in the game, but I don't feel like we have enough trees. I don't feel like we have enough plants. There is some good debug stuff, though, so I can't complain that much. So this is when I decided I moved it back because I realized I needed to put a fence around the house that would have like a gate, and I went with an open gate feature. I think I'm still going to work on the vines, but I'm going to kind of explain. And I gave it kind of like a little walk in the park vibe, which I'll explain more when we get to that part, but it turned out really cute, and I really think you're going to enjoy it. For the trees, I decided just to layer some trees on top of each other because, yes, you can overlap trees because they were way too flat before, and I wanted something a little more voluptuous and poofy, more like a little cotton ball out front versus just a cotton pad. So I layered the two on top of each other, and it turned out much better. Much, much, much better. I can't get the vines correct. I could tell. It was frustrating me, guys. It was really frustrating me. I tried to move on, but I couldn't because it just looks a little blocky right now. It doesn't look very natural, and I think the key to natural vine work is just to keep layering them and don't plan them out, kind of like I did. I wouldn't recommend doing it the way I did, perhaps, but it's okay. We all learn. We all learn. And I did end up finding some vines that really did help. If you go to Snowy Escape debug items, you're going to be amazed with what you find, because there are these amazing vines that can be draped over the top. Yes, just like that. And it helped so much. My vision was coming to life more, and I was really happy about that, because otherwise it was just looking a bit, I don't know, just planned, and we don't want our vines to look planned. I mean, maybe they plan a route to their plant selves as they're going, but not me. Do I finally move on? I think I might. What a beautiful song playing in the background, by the way. I can't believe I found this music. It's royalty free. Well, I know what it is. I'm just saying, like, the rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. I'm like, what a beautiful song. It's the Star Spangled Banner. I would. I'm a musician, I swear. So then I finally placed my brick, which you might have noticed, guys. I just take forever to place my brick and, well, my wallpaper in general. There. And then I realized there needs to be gray. The biggest stress I had with this, though, is, see that basement trim? I'm like, what color am I going to make that if I have a gray and I have a orange brick? Or I guess it's a red brick. So I was trying to figure out if I could section it off, but I just went with red. And you know what? I kind of liked it. I went with gray. Man, I'm such a rumor spreader here, apparently. I went with gray, and I think the gray turned out to be a perfect tie between everything. And it also didn't show too much on the red brick because you'd almost imagine it being a shadow from the basement ground floor. So it was fine. I was content with it. Had to add some roof pattern on, which in the picture, it was just kind of these like slats. And I thought, that's easy enough. We'll plop that in there, paint our chimneys and whatnot. So at this point, guys, I was almost debating. I was like, I guess I'm done with the house and I'll just do some landscaping and put that fence in and we'll be good to go. Well, lo and behold, I can't control myself, and you're going to see that I added a lot more. A lot more. Guys, if you want that open gate feeling, by the way, go ahead and delete. There you go. Delete. I like how I'm talking to like past me. I'm like, there you go. delete fences that, I don't know. I mean, it's not really practical in how I built the gate, but delete a space, put some fences that are at a 90-degree angle there. And you can put a gate on it. I don't think I did for this one because I think I have my main gate here, and I figured that maybe the fence being that way would look enough like a gate. Maybe I did add one. I can't remember. And this is just like a really nice little archway, and they also had it in the original, so I thought might as well add it. The way you do that's super easy. Build a wall and then build a fence directly on top of that wall, and then delete the wall, and then put pillars to keep it up, and then of course landscape the heck out of it just to give it this really gorgeous arch look. And I think it added so much to it and just tied everything together. I was really happy with how that looked. Moved my trees, put pathways. So this is where I think at this point I was telling myself in my head, like, okay, we're gonna have to add more. You know, I was ready to be done. I was tired of sitting in my chair at this point. I was like, okay. But I realized with the pathways going that way, I was like, what if we add, you know, what if they lead somewhere? Go figure, right? Pathways leading somewhere. No, never. I would never have guessed. But hey, we did. We led them somewhere. And I also decided to move the house back eventually. I don't think I do it now. Oh, I have to do it now because I think I move on to the garden. But I moved the house back, and that's when I add in, you'll see all the details. It's very pretty. I'm very happy with how it turned out. But before that, you know, me deciding that I was basically done with the build, I went to put some windows on the back, which 10 out of 10 don't recommend doing that, guys, because when you get to the inside and you've put windows the whole way around, you start to, unless they're in the front, because the front is, you know, the curb appeal. But unless you want to build around windows and plan your build around a window, I would not recommend putting in windows until you plan out everything else on the inside. Of course, you can change stuff around, but I think it's inevitable that you're going to be planning around those windows because you want to make it work because you liked how it looked on the outside. But I pinky promise, guys, hold me to it. Pinky promise that if you just go ahead and wait and put your windows in after and then look how it looks, it's going to look so much more realistic, and I promise it's going to look good. And that is why I ended up leaving them out of the back. Here's where I did the park vibe that I was kind of mentioning earlier. I lined this whole place with trees on the pathway because I was imagining this gorgeous like pathway perhaps in London that is just lined with trees. I remember when I was living in London for my schooling for my master's degree, there were so many spots. It's almost emotional to think about, guys, but there were so many spots that just took my breath away, and a lot of them were these tree-lined magical places. And it just felt right to put it here. It felt like my own little tie-in. I know it may seem so simple. It's like they're just a row of trees, Taylor, but it brought me back to those days, and I miss it. And I was really happy to see when I was there, so I added it in my build, because why not? Maybe someday I'll have to make a house of what I almost imagine my time in London to be. Sounds a little cuckoo or crazy, I know, but I think it could be something really beautiful, because I had a beautiful time there. Anyways, enough of the sappy stuff. I'm adding in a garden here, which if you guys want to do a garden, like a really pretty romantic garden vibe, do it in an X formation like that, and then landscape those triangles. Here I am building a bridge over the pond, layer 2 blocks on top of each other. So basically build a 2-story little thingy. Delete the first block, so the first floor, and delete that floor as well. And then delete the walls on the bridge. And literally just click and drag down. I'll make a tutorial on my TikTok right after this video. And it'll be up before this video is up. So hopefully, if you haven't seen that video, there is a tutorial on my TikTok. I'll make sure to pin it to my profile that you can go watch for the tutorial. And my TikTok is just ThatSimsChick. It's also in my bio. So don't forget to add, all the details for this garden. I wanted a fountain. Why I put in the center, I mean, it makes sense, but it also didn't. And the reason I ended up doing it anyways, because I like the look of it and I didn't care. I put benches, put everything. You know, this is a magical secret. I don't want to say secret garden because it's kind of in the front of the house, but it's a magical secret garden, you know? It's supposed to be something really special and really romantic. Imagine your Sims getting engaged here, or maybe having a mini wedding, like a private wedding. Really happy though, just with the garden in general. This was the touch that I ended up deciding to add on my own. And the reason I decided to do a garden was because I feel I did another manor, like a big, really elegant, gorgeous mansion. It's not on my YouTube, unfortunately. I didn't record the whole process of me making it because I guess I woke up and chose chaos that morning and I decided to build whatever I did. But they had a gorgeous garden, very similar to this, and I thought that it would fit the Bridgerton vibe that I was going for perfectly. And I really just wanted to fill the lot. Like, if I'm going to be building something extravagant and something beautiful, it can't just be a standalone home. It really can't, guys. It has to be a glorious lot. And I'm thinking eventually, like, as I do these speed builds, like if I'm doing a speed build a week here on YouTube every Monday, guys, at 12 p.m. a new speed build is released. If I'm doing speed builds like this, then there's absolutely no reason I should not be able to release a save file someday, because I can fill up a whole save file on different lots and we could do different styles. I mean, it might take a couple of years, but I'm down. If you guys are down, I'm down. I would love to make a save file one day. Like, I would absolutely love to make a save file. I've been talking about it for what feels like forever. When I was streaming on Twitch, which I unfortunately did quit that for now, or indefinitely, because I wanted to switch to YouTube, and I really just love YouTube. I like having my own little schedule, working at my own pace, spending all day doing this, but not having to stress about being entertaining in the moment if I'm not always feeling up to it. And then if you don't feel up to it and have to cancel, your stats that you inevitably look at suffer. So that was a big reason why I quit Twitch. There are a lot of reasons, but that was a big reason. And with YouTube, you know, we just kind of hang out. We chill. I get to sit here, talk to you guys, even though you guys aren't here. But it's okay. I enjoy it. And I really enjoy building, especially off streams, because I used to get so distracted during streams that I wouldn't get much done. But if I'm building by myself, like this build took 3 hours, guys. It's not that long. So yeah, anyways, I ended up doing a greenhouse on the other side. Is that the right call? I don't really know. I really don't know. I had a lot of issues with this greenhouse. I went through a lot of different things. I mean, in the long run, I could have just done, you know how a lot of people do that curved roof on top that they put as glass, and then put those windows that I just had from Moschino, and it just forms itself beautifully. I could have done that. My issue, however, was that I don't think it fit the vibe. Everything else was, I don't know. It just didn't fit the vibe. I do like what I ended up with, and I think you will too. You're going to have to let me know in the comments below. And also let me know if you want a greenhouse tutorial, perhaps, because I know I've had that question quite a few times, at least on my TikTok, on to do a greenhouse tutorial. So if that's something you guys are interested in here on YouTube or on TikTok, you just let me know. And on the topic of that, while I'm trying to figure out my greenhouse dilemma, if you have any video suggestions in the future, do let me know. Speed builds especially, because those come out every Monday. I'm going to try for every Wednesday to come out with a something different, such as maybe a tutorial or maybe a fun build challenge, such as today. In 15 minutes, as I'm recording this, will come out my 25-minute build challenge. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. And then every Friday is 100 Baby, which you guys have probably already seen episode 2 if you're watching this video. So if you haven't, go check that out, because I don't even know how to explain the chaos that usually happens in 100 Baby, but it's always chaotic. Anywho, so this is the greenhouse idea that I finally went with. I'm happy with it. I think it's really ugly at first, but once I add in some landscaping elements to it and add some greenery on it, it really does tie it together. And it's something different. When I looked up, like, what kind of style greenhouse did I look up? I can't remember. I can't remember what I ended up looking up. Oh my God, don't tell me I looked up Victorian greenhouse. I think I might have. Hold on. I'm kind of Googling it right now and seeing. I did, didn't I? I looked up Victorian greenhouse, and this is not a Victorian house. English greenhouse. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Oh, yeah. No. All greenhouses basically look the same. If I look up Victorian or English, it's literally the same picture. So, okay. I feel better. But what I think I'm going to end up doing, guys, when I decorate it, I think I'm going to, of course, keep it a greenhouse, but I also think, like, I've seen people turn them into, like, outdoor eating places. So I might do, like, greenhouse / outside dining. I don't know. I'm going to have to really think about the interior before I dive in, or else we're going to have, like, a 100-hour-long video of trying to figure it out. So I will have a general idea. And like I said, I think I mentioned it earlier, I don't think I'm going to base the inside off the Bridgerton stuff, because if there's one thing that stresses me out, it's trying to base the interior of a house when I don't know the floor plan. It stresses me out. So I think I'll just be doing my own rendition of the interior, which I don't always like doing, knowing that I could have done the real, but it's okay. It's okay. See, look how cute the greenhouse did turn out. The thing that I'm most frustrated about with this greenhouse is that the proportions are off. Not a fan, because it's almost as big as the house. And, like, I feel like the house should be a bit bigger, but it's okay. Here's where I added the other row of trees, which I'm really happy we did. I think it added so much. And then I thought about adding them all the way through, but I realized that just looked too busy. So I instead put those little, like, bulbous bushes. And I do that a lot in my builds because I just think it's a really clean way to landscape. Size them down with the left bracket key, and then alt place them by holding alt and placing them. And if it's not letting you place like this, make sure you have bb.moveObjects on. Very important detail. Otherwise, they will not place, and that would not be any good, would it? For the lights, I realized I didn't have any, so I put in some light posts. I was going to put them closer to the house, but I felt like it really took away from the vibe, and I didn't like that. And I was also going to turn them because I really don't know what way lights go, because I'm not I'm not the sharpest tool in the tool shed at all times, so I couldn't think of how they would go. Then I put, like, sorry, I'm yawning. Very relaxing music and a relaxing video, I hope. But I put lights that kind of lined the walkway, and I really enjoyed that. Trying to figure out what tree I want to do. Guys, if you want the best landscaping, go to debug landscaping, bb.show hidden objects, and bb.show live edit objects. The best two things, because you get pretty much a whole entire catalog of new stuff that is involved in the game, included in base game, included in packs, included in everything. But it's debug items or live edit, which means they're found in the world, such as that grass over to the left, you know, those little decorative wildflower looking things I add in my build, which if you do cottage living, always add that grass, by the way. But it has stuff like that, or like any of the landscaping that you see outside of it, or even the houses that they have in the background. It's all part of debug. And I think that's fantastic because it opens our catalog to so much more. And I mean, it depends. Some debug landscaping is not it, but cottage living debug landscaping is it. And here's where I added that plant stuff I was talking about, and it added so much. It ties in your cottage living lots. So if you ever feel like maybe you're building something in cottage living and it just doesn't look quite right, it's probably the landscaping. I'm gonna, full disclosure, it's probably the landscaping. But guys, I think we're getting to the end of the build coming up. So if you enjoyed this, of course, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Especially share it, tweet about it. Anything that you need to do helps me. And comment below what you want to see next. I really appreciate you guys watching. I would have a video at the end for you. of a tour of the house, but I forgot to press the record button, so I did pop in 2 pictures. Thanks for being here, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.